do this.
So we've got the Cascadia vehicle tents utility trailer with the short bars on it, the Mount Thielsen tent on the top, and John here has pulled it for between on and off road, probably, I don't know exactly yet, but probably 1,800 miles ish,
Something like that.
1,800, 1,700 miles. About half of that on highway, half of that on, well, not. And how did it pull?
Well, on highway it pulls like a breeze. You forget it's there. It tracks behind the Grand Cherokee beautifully. On the trail, it's a lot of fun. I kind of had to get used to the 3 axles.
The 3 axles.
But once you kind of get into it, you're like, okay, first, second, wait for it, third, okay, now we're past, keep going.
So you were pulling it with the Trailhawk. The Trailhawk has the little 3.6 liter V6. Did you ever have any kind of power problems pulling it up over things or down things?
No. Down maybe a little bit because you didn't ever install a brake controller in your Trailhawk for me to drive with. But no, it was easy to control.
So things that are noticeable. We've got the factory hitch, which is the standard ball receiver. The tongue does come all the way out, so you could easily put in an articulating receiver hitch pretty easily. The lift, the trailer lift, it's on a hitch pin. It can just pop off and pop back on, store up and store down. Empty, which it is right now. It's very well balanced. You can pick it up one-handed. And so moving around, like I mentioned, we've got the short bars. The trailer also comes with an optional tall bar system that sits, I think it's about this high, and then the tent can go on top of that. And then with enough room for some canoes or some other things to go around with that. Like I said, the normal, the large, it fits on there pretty well. It's a two-person tent. We had some other issues with that I'll talk about a little bit later. The door, the rear door, it pulls out. This is an optional mounting bracket, so that you can mount all kinds of stuff to it. There's first aid kits you can put on there. There is you can get Maxtrax boards to attach. You can get all kinds of stuff. Roto packs for fuel or water can be attached to this, and it does have a locking pin so that it doesn't open or close. It doesn't hold. It's got the LED lights. It's got a receiver hitch in the back, which I think I may add a swing out tire carrier and fuel can carrier that can also be transferred to the Cherokee. Of course, we've got the obligatory overland bound member numbers.
I had to find something to put my badge on.
So this is one of the things that we ran into a pretty big problem with. When the tent was mounted center, when we wanted to lift it, and this is part of the problem we had with the aluminum rails on the Thielsen, we wanted to push up on the tent because it was just right here and easy to grab. Moving it slightly to the passenger side stops us from doing that. This trailer still has a slight rubbing issue. You can pop it open, and then we've got all of the space inside. And then we can see that it's got dual locks. This one seems to be a little tight. We'll fix that. This particular latch was replaced, so we were on our trip. We were on day 8 or 9, maybe 10, somewhere in that ballpark. So this
7 or 8.
7 or 8. So this latch broke on the trail, and it's partially because these pins up on the were coming loose. They weren't Loctited. Loctited? Is that a word? Loctited?
Either torqued down.
They weren't torqued down enough, or they weren't. There wasn't any Loctite on them, and they were coming loose, and then they were bashing the latches. So one of the things that we had found is that we had ended up near Bend one of our days,
Yep.
and we decided to take a side trip to Bend and have them get it fixed. And like every other dealing you'll ever have with Cascadia vehicle tents, they just swapped it out. They just sent a guy out, just fixed it on the spot. So it was incredible service. So this is the gray silver color that we've got. All of this is powder coated. We have clearly used this off-road. It takes a pretty significant beating. One thing that I would probably warn about is that when it's empty, you need to be careful, because it is a very, very, very light trailer, and it will bounce when it's empty. It bounces a lot when it's empty. So that's definitely something that needs to be watched out for, especially if you have a tent on the high bars. There's a lot, that would be a lot of weight up top, and you might be able to toss it, which would obviously be really, really bad. They come with the standard, I think it's the 6-bolt pattern. It's the 6-bolt pattern. I think it matches Toyota. And then it's flat on the front. There's plenty of space for upgrades, for whatever have you. The issues that we've had with this trailer so far, I mentioned the lock issue, the striping, the weather, the dust sealant. As you can see, it's vibrated apart. So if we've got some separation issues over there. We've got some separation issues up top. It is a known issue from the Cascadia people. They know they're working on ways to solve it. I think that what I'm probably going to do is go get some rubber stripping and put it in here. The door seems to be doing all right. The issue that we have with the door is that there's no way to seal, even with the striping, there's no way to seal this top bar against this. So I'm going to have to figure out some way of finagling a rubber stripe or some kind of rubber seal here. The issue that we mentioned when we were there, and we didn't have them addressed because I didn't really want to spend the time for an issue that's just an annoyance, is there's the strut is catching and rubbing up here when you open and close, and it's taken off the powder coating, and it pops and it's loud when you open it. But I think I'll be able to fix that, and even if I can't, it doesn't bother me that much. But other than that,
yeah, latches, the weather stripping, and then a nice to have. A nice to have would be
handle.
some handle or something on the side that gets you to not do the stupid thing that we did and try to torque on the tent.
Right.
Which that's bad on us, but a handle would help, and it just makes it a little more obvious or more convenient when grabbing one or the other latches and pushing it open.
And that might be even more of an issue when if you have the taller bars,
yeah.
because you'd have gears strapped to the side,
Yeah.
And you might be pushing on your gear and causing the same problem. The locks, one thing that we realized the other day is that the locks, there's 2 locks on this. There's a lock here and there's a lock on the back door. If I would like to see them be the same key.
Yeah.
Was one thing that I would like to see them be. And I don't know a lot about locks, but they're both kind of gummed up right now, and they're going to have to be cleaned out, even with the dust covers. The one in the back doesn't work, and the one in the front is kind of tricky. So I'd like to see those maybe be improved, upgraded a little bit. But all in all, I'm incredibly satisfied with the trailer itself. I am,
Yeah. Best trailer I've pulled. It's been a lot of fun. And it's actually got quite a bit more cargo room than you even think it did. We've been using the Sterilite.
The Sterilite boxes.
Nicely stacked. It looks full when it's in there. And we picked up a little bit of extra firewood last campsite and didn't want to leave it, and so just tried to lay it in there up top and just happily closed. And was like, hey, there's more room than we thought there was.
You can on the standard sized Sterilite. We've been running one full height and one half height in here, and I think we could probably actually get away with running 2 full heights if we wanted, or more. Or optimally, we could run, one full height and maybe 4, or 2 half heights in here for organization. But there's a ton of room in here. It's really well organized. We've been sliding things in and out and in and out, in and out, and the powder coat inside is just perfect.
Bit dusty.
It's a bit dusty, bit dirty, but the powder coat inside is still fantastic. And there's no, you can see the scratches, but we haven't gone through any powder coating. The tires, the suspension, it's all fantastic. I definitely can't say anything. I don't have any major complaints at all about this trailer. Period. It's done really good things.
Yeah, now you just need to move on and get all the external additions that we're going to add on here.
That is another video.